Hey everyone, this is Renee Frey from Talent Q, and you're listening to the Conscious Professional Podcast. Wouldn't you love to step into a room and feel like the most self-confident person there? Head held high, shoulders back, straight posture, a confident walk, or a swagger that's drawing people to you? This is the confidence that I'm talking about. When you see a person like this walk by you, you just know they're confident. You see it in their body language, in their energy. They have got it going on. I want to explain self-confidence in the most easiest, most simplistic way. How I describe it is that self-confidence has two parts. Self-confidence is being secure in yourself and your abilities, which comes down to your ability to trust yourself. And the second part of self-confidence is your overall opinion of yourself. My whole life, I've been a confident person. And as a mother of two daughters, I went out on a quest. I went around asking all my confident female friends, my coworkers, my family members, where did you get your self-confidence from? Because I wanted to take these lessons and share them with my girls. Well, this was way before I learned about mindset stuff. I'll share what I found out and what they shared with me though. Many of them had really supportive parents. Parents that allowed them to try anything. Like for example, a bunch of different sports. Maybe they tried tennis. Maybe they didn't care for that. Then they tried dance. Then they fell in love and stuck with basketball. Others said their parents were always supportive of them growing up and let them be their own person. Their parents cared about what they wanted to do and let them make their own decisions. In my childhood, one thing I attribute my confidence to is my mom. I remember growing up, and even to this day, she still does it. She's always complimenting me on something. So if I was running off to the bus as a teenager headed to school, she would say, "I like your outfit, Renee." Or she would say, "I like your hair," or "I like your eye makeup." She always complimented me on something. And she still does this to this day. I see her doing this with my kids too, and I love it. I'm certain this is why my love language is words of affirmation and why I compliment people all the time too. I learned this behavior from my mom. It's actually an incredible behavior because people feel good when they receive a compliment. I'm genuine about the compliments I give. I'm truly genuine. I even compliment people who are bagging my groceries at the store. If I'm shopping at Target and I see a complete stranger walk by with a great pair of shoes on, I'll call it out to them. "Love your shoes." People love to feel good, and this is one way I can spread goodness in the whole world. Now, I want to break down each component of the definition of self-confidence and really dissect it further. So first, the ability to trust yourself. We've all done stuff that we set out to do and didn't follow through on. We said, say it was January 1st. I'm going to start a new job search on January 1st because I can't stand working for my micromanaging boss. I got to get out of here. January 1st rolls around, it flips on the calendar and you're like, geez, I hate updating my resume. So then I'm procrastinating and I keep putting it off. Meanwhile, April rolls around and I'm still here in the same job working for the shitty boss. What the heck happened? You said you're going to start a job search and then you didn't. What's up with that? To trust yourself, you have to do what you said you're going to do. You got to follow through on your plans. You got to take care of yourself. You will do all the responsible things for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. This is very different from saying you will do something and then hoping you follow through. That leaves room for self-doubt, which is the total opposite of self-confidence. And if you can't count on yourself, who can you count on? You will feel insecure. When you break a commitment to trust yourself, then your trust in yourself breaks down. And the trust you have in yourself is the most important thing in this world. This is the most important trust in the whole world. We don't ever want to break this down. The second you betray yourself, everything falls apart because your mind knows you betrayed yourself. The ability to trust yourself starts from consistent follow through on your word. Doing what you said you were going to do, the commitment you made to yourself, you follow through. You are the most important person in your life. Yeah, that's what I said. You are the most important person in your life. You are. If there's no you, there is nothing else. So start giving a shit about yourself and start putting yourself first and maintain those commitments that you made to yourself. With this, you also need to love yourself unconditionally. Love every aspect about yourself without judgment. We all have aspects about ourselves we wish we could change. Even the parts that you wish were different, you gotta love them without judgment. You weren't born with self-confidence. You continuously earn it from yourself by keeping your word and doing what you say you're going to do at the highest level. So stick to what you've committed to do. Most of us spend so much time in self-doubt because we don't believe that we can handle everything that comes our way. Start believing you can handle anything. We can all do hard things. You've done them in the past. I know you have. You've experienced the loss of a loved one. You've got laid off from a job. You have a friend with cancer. I know you've gone through hard stuff in the past and you will survive. Why do we doubt our abilities? I think it's because fear and doubt creep in, and these unpleasant emotions, we don't want to feel them. The good news is you can feel and process your emotions. Even if you mess up, you can process those icky emotions. There's no emotion that's going to damage you forever. If you feel the emotions all the way through and you process them, they will pass. The emotion will pass even faster when you know how to control them. Now, the second part of the definition is your opinion of yourself. What you think of yourself is what gives you self-confidence or crushes your self-confidence. If you think about it, confidence is a feeling, and self-confidence is a feeling about the self. All of our feelings come from our thinking. So the way we think about ourselves will determine whether or not we feel confident or not. So start thinking confidently about yourself. No one's going to get up in your head and hear what you're thinking and saying to yourself. I joke all the time that if people knew what was going up in my head, they would think it was unbelievable. They would shake their head. They might even think I'm pompous. Well, guess what? They never will get to know what I think. So I don't mind what they are thinking about me. You want to have an extraordinary life, you got to start telling yourself you're incredible and limitless. All of our feelings come from our thoughts, and we have the ability to think. So the way we think about ourselves will determine whether or not we feel confident or not. A self-confident person is going to think they are awesome and capable and worthy, and they're going to think that they are strong and competent. Now, none of this has to be proven or true. You don't need validation from others. Self-confidence is a feeling that creates a result. And that result doesn't have to be completed perfectly to create the feeling. You just have to have the thought first. So now I want to cover the difference between self-confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is thinking you're better than someone else and then trying to prove it. Arrogance actually comes from a place of creating false self-confidence by trying to put others down. And arrogance works by trying to raise your opinion of yourself by comparing yourself to others. And often, instead of building yourself up, you accomplish this by putting others down. And ironically, arrogance typically comes from a lack of self-confidence. Self-confidence, when it's genuine, understands that all humans are awesome and capable. It doesn't need or even allow you to put other people down. When you're self-confident, you love seeing others win. Because, like I believe, when one person wins, we all win. Think about criticism. When you're criticizing someone, this is usually a projection of something you lack. This means we are compensating for our lack of confidence by trying to make ourselves better than someone else in our own minds. And arrogance denies faults because it can't tolerate any type of rejection. This is why arrogant people often lie or embellish their abilities and accomplishments, because arrogance is based on fear, not self-confidence. Self-confidence, on the other hand, says we are all capable and amazing. I can handle fear or any other negative emotion. It's a feeling of abundance, not one of scarcity, but there's still a problem. Most of us aren't self-confident. Why is this? Why don't we trust ourselves? And we have all this negative self-talk running around in our heads. What it comes down to is we don't understand how to manage our minds. So we feel the trickle-down effect out of control with our feelings and actions. This leads us to let ourselves down consistently. This undermines our ability to trust and stay in integrity. We're afraid of feeling our emotions. We don't want to feel any negativity, so we go and hide. And this leaves us scared to do anything that has a risk of failure. We're always questioning our ability because we have to do it perfectly or we're going to feel a negative emotion. Screw that negative emotion. Sit in it and feel it. It's not going to hurt you. When our opinions of ourselves are so low, we don't spend a lot of thought, any time thinking highly of ourselves. Kick all this bullshit negative self-talk to the curb. And how you can do this in one of the most simplest ways, anytime you have an awareness of a negative thought, write it down and then immediately reverse it and make it into a positive statement. So if I just thought, I'm a failure, I'd grab my notebook, I'd write down, I'm a failure. I'd then cross that shit out and write, I'm a success. This will be a great start. Just start there. I'm telling you, I used to have thousands of negative self-talk patterns running around in my mind until I did mindset work and meditation, which, by the way, totally changed my life. And I'll have to share about meditation in another episode. Starting to be aware of your negative self-talk is going to be really eye-opening at first, but stick with it. Write down the positive statement next to the one you crossed out and just keep doing it. I don't even care if you don't believe the positive statement, because when you do this enough, one day you will. Going back to loving yourself and even the parts you would like to change unconditionally, you got to love all the parts of you. Some of you are thinking to yourself, I can't love myself. Oh, yes, you can. Do you love your parents? Do you love your siblings? Do you love your dog? Do you love your cat? You can freaking love yourself. A way to start is reading the list of positive statements you framed from your list every single day. Or every time you see a mirror in your house, give yourself a high five in the mirror and say, I love you. Tell yourself all day long, I love me. Whatever you do, do it. I know it sounds cheesy, but when it works, you won't be thinking it's cheesy ever again. Our brains are programmed to see what's wrong. So that's what it's always looking for. It finds negative thoughts that spiral into negative emotions, and this is the total opposite of self-confidence. Self-confidence is a state of being, but it's not fixed or constant. It can fluctuate depending on the circumstances and experiences. Some people may naturally have loads of self-confidence, while others might need to work on nurturing and maintaining it. And through personal growth, self-reflection, and coaching, we can strive to develop and sustain a positive and confident state of being. Doesn't that sound incredible? Having a confident state of being? So the last thing I want to cover is that self-confidence is an attractive tool of influence. It doesn't have to be loud and boisterous. A self-confident person is not bossy or controlling or know-it-all. Self-confident people have no problem admitting when they don't know something, or if they don't have the answer, or if they made a mistake. They have no problem admitting that. I just want to mention the huge benefits of having more self-confidence. You're going to set more goals. You're going to take more action. You're going to talk to more people. You're going to take more risks, like going after a huge promotion. You're going to achieve more, like getting a bigger raise. You're going to believe beyond your current capability and your capacity. You're going to live into your future, and you're going to be limitless. In any group, the person who has the most certainty and most belief will influence the conversation. Self-confidence is practice self-belief. You You have to be certain about yourself and your amazingness. And don't rely on your ability. Rely on your belief that you can handle anything, because everything is just a feeling. And you understand where feelings come from. Self-confidence is wonderful for you and everyone around you. They will love being in your energy of abundance. It will feel attractive and will create attraction. So the key points from today's episode are: learn to reframe your negative self-talk into positive self-talk, and love yourself. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Please share this episode and go make one change to be better than you were yesterday. Live your life with intention. I believe in you. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible, so if you would, please leave a 5-star review. See you next week. Cheers, everyone.